Tonight's shiur is dedicated for Refuah Shlema to Rabbi Michael Noach Halevi ben Katrina Leah. Shem Shagir Refuah Shlema Karol Mamash. Rabbi, today we're going to have an amazing shiur, and I think when we get to the ending of it, it's really going to change our perspective. Okay, this is perfect. Hand this out, Avanya. One to Or. One to Amir. Anything else? Yeah, it's fine. Give one to Morato, one to Reb Sani, one to Yosef. Yeah, you need both. Yeah. I put footnotes and everything in this time. It's on the back side of the Hebrew. Is also one more set. Here we go. Wow. Okay, it's good sushi. All right, so Rabbi, we're going to begin, and I'm very excited because this is a really, really, really good one. It's got a lot of answers, a lot of questions will be answered today. Let's begin. In our parasha, we're going to find a very interesting phrase. Everyone knows the difference. If I say lamed aleph, lamed vav, lo with an aleph, lo with a vav. It's a big difference. Lo with an aleph means lo, no, in Hebrew. Lo with a vav means to him. Ten lo, give to him. In modern day Hebrew, you wouldn't say maybe lo. Al titen lo, don't give to him. Al instead of lo, because you want to say don't. Avadia, move the stand rolls out of the way. I can't see it. Oh, thank you. Put on the fork. Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay, so with that little introduction, let's look at the Zera Shimshon. And by the way, the Zera Shimshon, we all know the Zera Shimshon has great haftachot. Those who learn him, Kadosh Baruch Hu will give you Yeshua and Parnasa and Hatzlacha and everything that we do. The ish et kodashav, a man, his holies that he has, that he wants to give to the Kohen, lo yiyu, should become to him. Okay? Ish asher yiten la Kohen, and whatever you give to Kohen, lo yiyeh, shall be to me. Ulmala, and even Parshat Bamidbar before, we also said, Amar, v'chol teruma, and any teruma, v'chol kodshei b'nei Yisrael, to any of the holies that you give, b'nei Yisrael should give, asher yakrivu la Kohen, that you bring close to the Kohen, in the top line, lo yiyeh, should be for him. 2 cents. So, the obvious question is, why does the Torah say, lo yiyeh, it should be for him, lo yiyeh, it should be for him, lo yiyeh, it should be for him 3 times? And what are you trying to tell me? Obviously, right, it means the Torah is highlighting something. And on the Art Scroll app, I could highlight, but you can't do that in the Torah, right? See, I just highlighted it. I made it yellow. But the Torah, when it says it 3 times, it's telling you highlight it. There's a reason behind it. So, the question is, why does it say every time that I'm giving teruma, it should be for me? Not once, twice, 3 times. We're not asking why it says lo yiyeh, lo yiyu. It's the same concept. It means it's going to be for him. So that means, just to explain the pasuk, I gave my teruma, it's for me. I'm getting a benefit. I gave my korban, anything that has to do with kachim, holiness, I donated, it's for me. Even though I gave to the Kohen, whatever I did, and it says it 3 times. Yesh lomar, second paragraph. The Ita beharambam, we see in the halachot of Rambam, and he quotes the Rambam right here. Ein chayavim min haTorah le'afrish teruma. You're not obligated to give teruma, ela be'eret Yisrael bilvad. So, obviously, teruma is a percentage of what you've reaped from the plants, whatever you're going to harvest. And you're not chayav until you've completely harvested. If it's in the process, I'm in middle, I'm cutting, I'm taking off the little film on the grain, whatever it is, then you're still not chayav. You're chayav at the end, when it's complete. Okay, this is now a product, it's grain, it's whatever that you're chayav in. Now I have to give teruma. Okay, a fifth. Okay. So, Rambam writes, you're not chayav to give teruma, ela be'eret Yisrael bilvad. You're only chayav in Eretz Yisrael. Nevi'im tiknu af be'eretz Shinar. Shinar is Bavel. So, outside of Israel. Why? Because a lot of Jews are found there. Do the mitzvah of teruma as well outside of Israel. And then, mipnei shero bnei Yisrael hayu mitziim sham. And then Chachamim, they added, the Rishonim, they added tiknu af be'eretz Mitzrayim, Ammon and Moab. Anywhere around us in the areas outside of Israel, give teruma. And if you want to say you're only going to get the bracha, that if you give, you're going to get only in Eretz Yisrael, wake up. It says here 3 times, lo yeh, lo yeh, lo yeh, 3 times, 3 different halachot that the Rambam puts in Hilchot Teruma of where I'm chayav to give. And he says straight out, he says, this is going to still receive the same benefits, okay? But let's see this inside. The Torah wanted to give us a remes that lo yeh mamon harbe, you can get a lot of money back. Ba'afrashat kol elu shalosh terumot. Whenever you do these from these laws of terumot, shalo yomar, don't say, now as a lo with an aleph, lo yeh mamon harbe, I will not have a lot of money. Ela be'otasha Eretz Yisrael bilvad, only if I do it in Eretz Yisrael. So this is the Rambam. The Rambam learns from these 3 psukim. Very simple. Lo yeh tells us that you're going to get the same schar, the same reward, if you gave truma outside of Israel as well. And obviously then it was talking about Bavel, because that's where all the Jews ended up going, and the other lands afterwards, subsequently, where Jews were exiled to, gave the teruma. Now that we said teruma, now we're going to talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to have a beautiful question, and we're going to learn from that 2 key concepts. He quotes a Gemara in Yerushalmi, Zera Shimshon, and he says, 2 rabbis. One rabbi, Rabbi Yirmiyah, took a bowl of figs and sent it to Rabbi Zera. Okay? One rabbi sends to the other rabbi. And Rabbi Zera took it and ate. We find out that this was Tevel. Tevel is the acronym of Tov Lo, not good. Why? No Truma, no Ma'aser was taken off. And this becomes a crazy problem because we know, all over Shas, all over Talmud Bavli and Yerushalmi, it says, Chaver, a Talmud Chacham, the family Chaver, the Persian family Chaver, because they're all rabbis over there. Chaver, that does something, does it perfect. How could the story have ever happened? That a rabbi sent to another rabbi, here's figs, and they ended up doing the avirah of eating without giving off teruma. Okay? That's going to be the question. And that's going to open up to us the concept of teruma, ma'aser teruma, and the concept of what protects a person from doing sin. Because everyone knows the story, and I printed it on the back in English. I did the Gemara. It's at the top of it, as the Gemara. Zayin Amud Aleph, Zayin Amud Bet, in Masechet Chulin. And over there, there's a story. Let me just pull up on the same sheet that I printed out for you guys. Here it is. Okay. The Gemara over there was talking about Hashem watches tzaddikim and even animals of the tzaddikim. My behemtam shel tzaddikim, that's that paper on top. My behemtam shel tzaddikim, what's these animals of tzaddikim? What is talking about? And he tells you a story. Ikalu ushpiza. Rav Pinchas ben Yair arrived at a certain lodge. Ramu le sarei lechamre. They poured barley or to the chamor, to the donkey. Lo achal. The donkey doesn't eat. Hatvinu. They sifted the barley. Then you can look at the next piece. Says number 1, the barley has previously been threshed to make into a smooth pile. So it's being fully harvested. Okay? Lo achal, he didn't eat. Nakrinhu, they manually cleaned it. Lo achal, the donkey still doesn't eat. Amr lehu dilma lo ma'asrin. The rabbi says, hold everything. The priest says, wait, what are you feeding this animal? Did you give ma'aser on the barley before you gave it to my animal? Okay, so asrinhu, they took off the ma'aser, the achal, now the animal ate. Amar Rav Pinchas ben Yair says, Aniyah, this poor creature, holechet la'asot rotzon konei, just wants to do God's requests. And otah tevalim, and you feed it tevel. Okay, this is the story. What's the problem here? Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair's donkey won't eat tevel, and Hashem protected the donkey. How could these two rabbis, Rav Yirmiyah, send to Rav Zera figs that didn't have teruma taken off, and they ate it? If you're protecting even the animals of the tzaddik, you shouldn't do an avera. How is it possible that you're going to allow the rabbi to fall into the sin of eating tevel? That's the question. It's a very good question. Anyone have a question on this? It's a question. You saving the donkey, you let the rabbis fall. What happened here? If you're protecting, then they shouldn't fall. Okay, now we can see the Zera Shimshon inside, and I think now most of it will flow really quick. It'll make a lot of sense. Let's see this inside. Third paragraph. Ita, we see in the Yerushalmi, Rabbi Yirmiyah shalach Rabbi Zera chad kartil de te'enin. He sent one basket of figs. Rabbi Yirmiyah said, Efshar, is it possible that Rabbi Zera achel lo mitkanen? Is it possible mitkanen that Rabbi Zera is going to eat figs that he will not take off teruma? He'll always take off teruma. Whatever he gets, he's going to take it off. So I'm going to send him. I don't even have to do teruma. I'll just send it to him like this, tevel. That's what Rabbi Yirmiyah said. Rav Zera gets these figs. Rav Zera Amar, Efshar, is it possible that Rabbi Yirmiyah, Mishalach Lon, will send me the lo mitaknan, that's not done the truma on it? How could a rabbi send it to me wrong? It's a Gemara says chaver. It's a Gemara, open Gemara in Pesachim and Daf Daled that says chaver, when he does the mitzvah, he does it right. And he specifically talks about if a Talmud Chacham went to do the fruits, he took the harvest, and he dies. And now we have his basket here. We say we can eat it without a problem because the Talmud Chacham does it right away. What happened here? Each rabbi thought the other guy did it. It's the famous story of a king coming to visit. And each one said, they said in the town, they said, we don't have money. Everyone bring a cup of wine. We're going to pour it in a big barrel. And we'll have a super mega wine for the king. So the first guy woke up and he said, Beryl says, listen, there's 1,000 people that live here. I'm one out of them. My 1 out of 1,000 of water won't hurt the rest of the 999 of wine. And Beryl said that, and Shmerel said that, and Cham Yankel said that. Everybody said that in this town. When the king comes, what happened? It's all water in there. That's what happened here. Rav Yirmiyah says, I don't think Rav Zera will eat without taking off teruma. I can send him without even doing it. Let him take care of it. And Rav Zera says, I don't think the Rabbi Yirmiyah will send me something that's not with that doesn't have teruma taken off. It's okay. If he sent it to me, it must be kosher. Okay? And then between the two, it achalun te'enim betivlayu. between the two minds giving good reasons, tevel was eaten. Adkan. Kasha, it's a question. The eich efshar de Gavriel semiche gavatayu ta'u usmiche da leda. Such tzaddikim, and they made this type of mistake. That little 3 art scroll, he tells you what's going to be quoted later, and that's the Gemara we did. The guy's own donkey was saved. That's the biggest question now. I thought you saved tzaddikim. Their donkeys are even saved, and here you let the rabbi go and fall? What happened here? So, first of all, your question is, how can a big rabbi, Rabbi Yirmiyah, send the food without making sure that this teruma was there? He said not kosher food to somebody to eat. When Mishloach Manot Purim, we check, we tell everyone, only send kosher, right? You got to make sure it's kosher. You don't want to have some Harry's hechsher that's not even kosher, right? Send it back. You're not taking it. Very careful. This is a rabbi sent. So we say, I'm going to skip around because it takes too much time. He looked for a shliach. I need a messenger. Couldn't find anyone. Everyone's in yeshiva. So he found some really dodgy, sketchy guy. Some guy that you wouldn't even, set your kids to be babysitted by this guy. You found a dodgy, sketchy guy. You did Uber. You sent someone who's a really interesting character. He sent it with that guy. And he said to himself, what's the halacha? When you send, when you buy food from Uber, for example, Uber sends you food, right? Everything has to be sealed. The kosher food has to be sealed. An airplane has to be sealed. We're afraid of a lot of things. And it's very relatable to this, even though we don't have Beit HaMikdash. But think about it. We're afraid that this shliach that we hired takes the truma, takes these figs. Okay, I'll give you the exact case that Gemara gave. The Gemara gave, they went to a hotel and they had bread. And they gave it to the lady who takes care of the hotel. And the lady said, I'm going to do the nicest thing. I'm going to say it in a very positive way. I'm going to do the nicest thing for my clients. When they're going to come tomorrow for breakfast, I'm going to take their old bread. The old bread I'm going to cut up, make sucharei, send it to the animals, let them eat. I'm going to give them fresh bread. Got a problem here. This bread, did they take off teruma ma'aser from the dough? Did they do anything? Hafrashas challah, did they do anything? So the halacha is, because we're afraid that this guy might change, maybe even steal, he'll eat it, but he didn't have permission. Should I be afraid? Should I make teruma, take it off, so that the guy giving the ride, the shliach, eats it? Do I care about what he's doing? His problem, if he steals from me, I should give him teruma? No, let him eat the non-good. Let him eat the non-kosher. We're not worried about him. When are we worried? When we take the product from that lady in the hotel, at the end you could take off, this is challah, put it away, this is truma, this is maaser, and then you could have it. Okay? Rabbi Yirmiyah said, I'm giving it to this shliach, he's not such a good guy. When Rabbi Zera sees the product, he's going to himself take off teruma. So Rabbi Yirmiyah did not have any avera. Everything was done halacha. Okay? Pay attention. Rabbi Yirmiyah, did he do anything wrong? No. Halacha said, you don't have to give the food over to a shliach and take off the teruma, because he's going to probably eat from it anyway and steal. And who cares? When it gets to the destination, over there, the guy will take care of it. Problem is, Rav Zera, his side, he don't know this shliach from a hole in the wall. He doesn't know who he is. Bad guy, good guy, I don't know. If the rabbi sent him, he must be good. So the fault's on Rabbi Yirmiyah again. He should have went and said something, send a message. Oh, by the way, I didn't do teruma on that. And Rav Zera, who accepted it, you should have checked it out. Hey, you sent me a package. Did you take off teruma on it or not? Just find out. See what happened here? They both did lehalacha. Halacha they did, but they were still negligent. They didn't say, hey, you know what? I'm going to really put this other guy, I'm going to stumble him. Let me help him out. They didn't care about that. I did the halacha, it's fine. I'm good to go. On that, the Gemara says, you're going to be less than the donkey of Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair. Because you could have protected the other guy. Don't say, oh, I did my letter of the law. That's it. I gave 25 cents to the UJA. I'm good to go. I'm done. I did my tzedakah for the year. I sat extra 10 minutes in shul. Don't see me for the next 2 months. That's not how we look at things. Because look what happened here. The donkey that does Hashem's will, Hashem protected. But the rabbis that were poshea, they got in trouble. So lesson number 1, Zera Shimshon says, is a person wants that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should protect him. Don't just do the letter of the law. If you see that it could be poshea, something wrong could come out of it, then go the extra mile. Protect. All Rabbi Yirmiyahu could have done was send a message to the guy, I didn't do the truma. Or Rav Zera could have said, hey, Rabbi Yirmiyahu, you sent me a beautiful package. Can I know if it's truma was done? It didn't hurt anyone to go ask. They could have taken care of it. No, this one said, I did it lahalacha. That one said, I did it lahalacha. And they think they're fine. And then the Zera Shimshon writes at the bottom, and he says, there's a pasuk in Tehillim, second to last paragraph. It says, Raglei chasidav tishmor. Pasuk in Tehillim says, Raglei chasidav tishmor. Watch the feet of the people that are chasid. What's a chasid? So the Gemara over there explains what's a chasid. Doesn't mean you follow bells or stopmer. Chasid means you go the extra mile. The letter of the law is here, you go the extra mile. Person that always goes the extra mile, he's the one who gets protected. So, first pshat was, don't let someone fall in a stumbling block. Don't be poshea. Second pshat, Zera Shimshon says, is if you're someone that does raglei chasidav tishmor, if you are the chasid of Hashem, David HaMelech said, chasid ani, ish chasid ani, I'm chasid of Hashem. That means I do more than what the letter of the law says. Such a person, raglei chasidav tishmor. Now you can understand how on earth is it people that are protected. You can hear stories. This guy, he was protected. Everyone invested with this guy, Bernie Madoff. He made off with $65 billion, and everyone else sank with him. And the few that were saved, wow, what happened? How you got saved? Raglei chasidav tishmor. He went the extra letter of the law somewhere in his life. Kadosh Baruch Hu pays back. Person wants to be protected from a Kadosh Baruch Hu, or he wants the bracha. He needs to do raglei chasidav tishmor. If you say, I gave enough, what is maaser? We learn maaser is almanat shtit asher, you become rich. If you say, I gave enough, you're not going raglei chasidav tishmor, he's not going to watch your money over you. If you're going to say, I did enough mitzvot, I don't have to go and, Rabbi, tomorrow, I already did today, I'm good. Chas v'shalom, the protection is not there for you. You have to understand two aspects. One, don't make someone to be poshea. Don't allow someone to fall into the sin of anything, anywhere in life. Don't let him fall. You have to do that type of protection if you want Hashem to always look after you. And because they didn't do that, Rav Yirmiyah and Rav Zera didn't do that, they did not get shmira. The animal, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair, got shmira, didn't want to eat the barley.
If they would have done that, they don't need shmira.
If they would have done that, then they would have shmira.
They don't need.
No, but you don't understand. Because the Gemara later on says, those tzaddikim, if they're like a malach, then who are we? Those tzaddikim, if they're like the Rishonim, then we're less than the donkey of Pinchas ben Yair. The word is, the donkey got protected and doesn't even have a mitzvah to eat something that's has truma and maaser taken off. The donkey doesn't know what it doesn't care. Doesn't have a chiyuv, zero chiyuv. And yet the donkey was protected. Hashem made it that Rav Pinchas ben Yair's donkey was protected. Doesn't need his protection. The answer is, it all depends on how you, as a person, your midah towards everybody else. Someone who says, I did the letter of the law, don't tell me anything more, I'm good. No, you're not good. If you're not going to go that extra mile, it's not going to come to you. Everyone needs shmira today. The stock market goes up and down. The person buys anything. We don't know if it's a good thing that you bought or anything. Hashem has to always be there. The haftacha, the promise is, if you do more than what you were told to, and you made sure, even though halacha says this is more than enough, I don't want this guy to fall, I want to tell him. I had this. Personally, I had it. In a certain case, someone's house, whatever it was, we went to find out, and afterwards we found out something that they would have not tell us, and no one needed to disclose that because everything was a paper for disclosure. Everything is good. Sharir, barir, v'kayam. But you want to go the extra mile for the guy. You want to be able to tell him. How many people in business would be much more appreciated if the guy was that honest to go the extra mile for you? Person that does that type of attitude, Kadosh Baruch Hu showers him with all the gifts and all the blessings that's out there. So, just to recap, Torah wrote 3 times, Lo yeh with a vav, lo yeh with a vav, lo yeh with a vav. If I give ma'aser and terumah in any part of the world, right, Eretz Yisrael or out, you're going to get the same bracha as you gave in Eretz Yisrael, which means you give almanach lehit asher, to become rich, aser to aser. You become rich from that, right? Yaakov Avinu said, just give me a shirt and beg the right lechem lechol, beg and a little piece of bread and a little shirt. He ended up being such riches that Esav didn't know where it's coming from. Who has more than me? And he saw and kept seeing presents coming. Guy became very wealthy. You gave maaser, you gave terumah. So that's outside of Israel. We get the same bracha as in Israel. And then the Zera Shimshon says, by the way, you should know there's 2 more parts to becoming rich. One is, even if the law says like this, but doing that might stumble somebody, go the extra mile. And number 2, you should always have the attitude of being a chassid of Hashem, because there's a haftacha in the Tehillim of Raglei Chasidav Tishmor. And he'll protect you everything. And we'll finish the last paragraph and we'll call it a night. Ume'ata, and from now, Kashem Shabiyirmiyah lo hikpid, he wasn't makpid, lehatzil et hashaliach me'achet, even his shliach that he sent to send the food, he didn't care that he's going to eat kosher or not. He didn't care. Kol kach lo hikpidu lo min hashamayim lehatzilo, therefore in Shamayim they didn't care to save him. They weren't makpid to save him. Shalo yavo kilkul mahamatos, some avera should happen through him. Rabbi Zera nami, Rabbi Zera also, lo hikpid lachmir al atzmo, he wasn't makpid to go the extra mile, ulahamtin, and wait. Le'echol ashish al Rabbi Yirmiyah, ask the guy, what did you send me? He didn't do that. He wasn't makpid. No law for doing that. He wasn't makpid. Lo zacha shishmeru min achet. He did not have the zchut to be protected from sin. Mishum de raglei chasidav tishmor, because the pasuk, the haftacha, is raglei chasidav tishmor. Dafka ve'elu lo nahagu atzman chasidim v'lachein semich lei. Therefore, the Gemara answered over there, im harishonim malachim anu anashim, but im heim anashim anu pachot mechamorim. We were less than the chamor of Pinchas ben Yair. This is very murder. This is very intense. That means we could change exactly the trajectory of our future just by caring about everyone. Just a little extra. We'll also, I'm not going to do it now, but there's also another thing about what you say also affects you a lot. So some people get very angry at people and can't do that. Can't do that. Don't say bad things. That's one. give the guy time. That's 2. Go the extra little bit. It won't hurt you. In fact, it'll protect you. And I'll end off with a story. They asked the Chazon Ish. This is when cars started becoming popular, and you know how Israelis drive. Obviously, you want to drive and stay safe and stay alive. So they asked Chazon Ish, listen, what's the best insurance policy to stay alive and not have an accident in cars in Israel? And he said, if you do chesed with your car, raglei chasidav tishmor. That was his answer. And I can bring you hundreds of other stories of Gedolim with the same concept. They act and they said, raglei chasidav tishmor. You go that extra mile, you do that. Kadosh Baruch Hu will give us a bracha. Thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful night.